Hello and welcome to the Flipping and Wholesaling Houses in New York show. I am Michael Pinter. I teach you how to start flipping or wholesaling houses in New York, or if you're already doing it, how to grow your business. So we had a video on this topic, but I want to get more in depth into it, and that is the extension of the eviction moratorium. So New York State Legislature just voted to extend the eviction moratorium. So what does that mean? So as I discussed before, it's a double-edged sword. On the one hand, we're going to get a lot more leads and a lot more deals because a lot more landlords are going to be pissed off that they're not collecting rent. I've spoken to a bunch of landlords lately who haven't gotten rent in 8 or 9 months. This is going to make them feel like this is a problem they need to get rid of, which is where we come in, right? As investors, we solve problems. So if you have a situation, if you have a house that you have not been receiving rent, but you have to pay a mortgage on, or you have to pay or you have to pay taxes on, you have to pay expenses on, you are going to feel like this is a big problem that you need to make go away. And no retail buyer is going to buy a house that's occupied, right? I don't know why people don't understand that, but most retail buyers will not buy a house that's occupied. They don't want to deal with evictions. And even an investor, most investors won't buy an occupied property because they don't want to deal with evictions, or they feel like, it's certainly not a non-paying tenant. So this means this is going to be more deals, which is good. But the other side of that is that we have to figure in, we have to make lower offers because there's a lot of things we have to take into consideration. So if you have a tenant that has been paying rent, you have to assume that guy may or may not be taking care of the property, and you may not be able to get in to see it. So I bought a property from a tenant that was uncooperative. He took a poker from the fireplace and broke every single tile in the house, broke every single piece of sheetrock he could find. That could happen. But the other part of it is if somebody's living there, certain things are working, right? It's probably heat, right? The kitchen's probably working, bathroom's probably working. They may not be cosmetically nice, but very often if the person listed the house to get that tenant, you can see what they look like beforehand. You got to give yourself a cushion for cosmetic problems, right? $10,000, $15,000 extra that could be there. You also have to figure in eviction costs, right? That's the real one. When are you going to get these people out? It's a problem. So the legislation is still pending. I don't know what the hell it's going to end up being. They're talking about relief for landlords. I don't know what that's going to look like, but this is like a few months more of an extension. I buy a lot of occupied properties. When I do, the first thing I do is go to try and get in touch with a tenant. I would say 50% of the time they won't even respond to me. But when they do, my first approach is always, I'll give you money. I basically say, listen, you have two choices. You can leave soon with a check in your hand from me, or you can leave a little later with, when the sheriff comes and takes you out. Those are your choices. The problem when the legislation is fickle and changing and uncertain, like we have now, is these people sort of feel like, well, maybe there'll be an extension for 4 years. Maybe when the new administration comes in the White House, they're just going to, not let anybody evict anyone for 4 years. People don't know. I don't know. So it's a problem, right? Because to make that claim to a tenant that you're going to leave when the sheriff comes, when there's an eviction moratorium, a lot of these people are going to say, they won't. But I'll still make that offer because they don't know what's going to be, and a lot of them don't know the law. So I always approach them by giving them money first to leave. If not, then I have to go through the eviction process. But it's an issue. It's an issue when legislation is coming here really to hurt people. Now there is another side of this legislation where they say they're going to offer relief, but I don't know how that's going to work. I don't know what's going to be, but it could be a situation where we buy occupied property and then we get some money from government stimulus. I don't know. But I think it's going to be a lot more deals because I'm getting a lot more leads from tired, desperate landlords who want to get rid of their property, and we can solve the problem by buying it. But we got to figure in, usually I figure a worst case scenario. We don't know what the worst case scenario is now, but you got to give a big cushion. So I'll give a number and I'll say, listen, if you can get a tenant out, I'll give you a number that's probably somewhere near what they want, assuming I can pay it. But then I'll give them a number like $30,000 less under current circumstances if the tenant's there. So they may not like that. They may not be able to pay it, but I'll say, you got to understand my position. I don't know when I'm going to be able to get them out. I don't know how much it's going to cost to get them out. The courts are going to be inundated with eviction proceedings when this whole thing ends. And I really don't know the conditions. So, when I think when you pose it that way to most people, they understand that. It doesn't mean they're going to sell it to you for the price you want, but at least they understand that you're an option, right? So if the eviction moratorium gets extended again, they may look at it and go, listen, this is a bottomless pit, this property. I need to go to this investor and get rid of it because I may just have to keep paying every single month and not get any money back. So you have to show up as the solution to their problem. It doesn't always work. It's a numbers game. You got to do a lot. You got to deal with a lot of leads, a lot of situations. You got to make a lot of offers. But I think this is going to increase the amount of leads and deals that we get as investors, because there's going to be a lot more people that are renting that will not take it anymore. And also, there are going to be tenants that look at this and say, why have I been paying rent? Somebody can't kick me out. Let me just roll the dice. So, and also as a landlord, you need to be on top of your tenants. So, and make sure that they understand that, they need to keep paying. But as investors and buying properties, I think this is going to be good for us. Just you have to factor in the additional and unknown expenses when you make the offer. I hope this was helpful. If you want to see how I can help you in a variety of ways, go to howtoflipnewyork.com. And if you like these videos, please click like. If you are watching on YouTube, please subscribe. And thank you very much for watching. Please keep the comments coming. Any questions you have, I'm happy to deal with them in future videos. Any questions, there are no bad questions. Ask me anything you want me to deal with, and I'm happy to help. Thank you very, very much for watching.